So I am joined by Phedon. Phedon, thank you so much for joining me.
Thank you.
We're going to get into as to why Phedon's here and his new product in just a moment, but there might be a lot of people out there that have never heard of your name or seen your magic. So
Sure.
tell us a little bit about you.
I started magic like in the 2000, 2001.
Right.
I was purely a coin magician. I say that in the book actually, but I just did coins. I was coins and no gimmicks, no nothing. Just sleight of hand. So I was pretty crazy. And when I met Titanas, who's my good friend now, it's been like 10 years now, I was still like a purely coin person. So he remembers me that way. And then
I'll just say there, it is incredible. You were showing me the coin stuff in the shop,
Thank you.
I was just like, what? You know, it was like camera tricks. Some of the
Thank
moves
you.
you were doing.
But there's no big merit because I was doing only coins. I remember I was even just married with my wife. We had moved to the States for like 2 years. And I remember the big malls in the States, she could find me on the sound of coins.
Right.
And this is true. Maybe them phoning or just like the sound of coins. And she could find me anywhere.
Right.
I was training all the time. So that's why I acquired good palms, good stuff, good slides, because I was doing them everywhere.
Yeah.
So when you work, it just pays off. So, but then meeting Titanas when I came back to Greece in 2007, I was trying mentalism. I had started before, but not very, very seriously. I was just close up. And then when the Uri Geller show came and I went there, that was a big stunt for me, actually, when I really did that seriously. And right now, I don't do coins anymore.
Yeah.
I just do mental. So I have a lot of routines of my own. I personally use. I think they're good. Some are very good, but I never really thought of releasing. And some time ago, 2 or 3 people told me, why don't you release this stuff? Because it's good. And I know it's good because I use it.
Yes.
I use it. So I know it works because I see people's reaction. I'm not stupid. I can see, I can tell. So this is my first release. And
so just going back to the Uri Geller thing,
yes,
because we didn't get the show over here. We didn't see the show. You might be able to see some of it on YouTube, but that was a big show, wasn't it?
It was a big show, and that earned me a big reputation in Greece, which helped.
Yeah.
Because still now, that's 7 years now.
Wow.
And people they all remember me.
And what was it?
Phedon?
Yes, there is a motto actually, that there is a saying that says, don't do it, Phedon, that he said.
Right.
It wasn't aimed at me, it was aimed at another guy, Neophytos.
Right.
And Neophytos was doing a Russian roulette with a drill on his head. So he just like very theatrically stood up and said, don't do it, Phedon. And I was in the backstage. And I heard my name. I said, what the hell is wrong with this guy now?
And now it's stuck with everyone.
Now I'm stuck with it, which is amazing
Yeah.
because it's good publicity. They had even made a ringtone out of it.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Is that your personal ringtone now?
It's not. No. I would never do that. But people still, even if they don't now recognize me at first, because time has passed, sometimes when I speak, they recognize my voice and they say, I know you. Or when I say I'm Phedon, they say, oh, you. And then now it clicks.
And what was the concept of that show? So we'll get onto your product in a moment, but obviously this is a big
yes,
thing.
the show was the next to Regala, so who would be his the heir, the successor.
Right.
So it was very interesting, of course. It was my first experience with like when you're on TV. I mean, you know, it's a big thing. You know that it's live, no mistakes. Millions of people are watching. It was very popular.
Wow.
So that was very enriching. And that was a boost actually, because after that I surfed that way for a while. I used to get to bookings, and it's not my job. I'm a hobbyist, okay?
Right.
But I did that for 5 or 6 months, and then I went back to my normal job, which is I have some liberties with my job. That's why I come here and there, and I work in Africa, so I have to manage my my traveling. In the book, I say I had to rush this because I have time constraints. Which is, I'm leaving next month for a period of 4 months. That's why, that's it, yes.
Right, so, I mean, with the book, we're going to get onto it now, but I will just say, for the Uri Geller stuff, I'm sure the footage is out there on YouTube.
Oh yes, on YouTube, you
see.
just say Phedon, and if you put Phedon, Phedon and Geller, you'll see everything. It's in Greek.
There you go.
So,
Yeah,
yes.
well, I'm sure you'll see some of the stuff. But yeah, onto the book. So what is the new... Now, I know because you've been freaking me out with this sort of stuff.
Oh,
It's
mutual. You did too.
but the book, I mean, let me just get this straight. We'll get on to what it is in a moment. But in the book, you told me to think of an object or whatever it was, and I followed the instructions on the book, and then the book told me what I was thinking of.
Yes, you know what? I had a big thing. I spoke to Titanas about that over the video call, and I said I'm afraid of something if I do that thing, because if I read a book on this, first of all, I called him out of the blue. I was having a coffee with my wife, and I said, you know what? I'm going to call Titanas. I called him. He was here. I was in Greece, and I don't. Okay, think of something. Think of a drawing, and he did that over the phone. And first, when I found what he was thinking. He was thinking of a boat. And talking to Titanas behind the camera right now. And he first thought, because I sensed in his voice that he didn't understand anything of how it was done. He said, oh, okay, but like, maybe it was a lucky guess. I said, no, do it again. And the second time he thought of the sun. I told him. And now he started freaking out. I said, what is that? And he thought of 3 things, I think. The next one would be maybe a car. I don't remember because it's been 3 months.
And you got them all.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yesterday I got you,
Yeah,
Peter,
you got-
and somebody else too.
Yeah.
What's his name? Andy?
Andy, yeah.
Andy too.
Yeah.
So, no, it works. I use it all the time with no fear because it does work. And you can testify that it works. So
it is amazing. I'll just say, to outline this product, it is, to me anyway, it seemed like you said, think of an item or an object, and you told me with very little questions or anything, you told me what.
This is what it looks to people. And then this is what it is, because it's something, I'm, as a mentalist, you know, maybe you got to know me and you know how dedicated I am. You see my coins. If I do coins, I try to be perfect. Yeah. I'm not, but I try to. As a mentalist, I try to be perfect. Yeah. So I mean, I'm not scared at anything. I work for it. I memorize anything you want. I know many things that propless stuff that I have to learn. I just do it. But usually, when you want a propless, surefire method, you have to tire your participant, because you have to make him do math. You have to it's tiring and long processes, and people sometimes are bored, or sometimes they make mistakes, because you tell the guy, okay, just think of an animal that starts with that. Oh, no, and they panic, they don't do it, or can you multiply that by 9? They can do it. They can do it, or they do it and they show, are you sure? Yes, and they made a mistake. So it really looks bad when you say, oh, you're thinking of this? No. And then when you go and say, what did you choose at the beginning? As 8 by 9. Oh, I made a mistake. You tell them it was math based.
Yeah, absolutely. And the saying surefire and propless mentalism never normally come together.
Exactly.
But it does in this case.
And in this case, I believe it does.
Yeah.
Because if you follow what I'm saying and the way I do it, it does. So to come back to the point, with the book, I said people won't understand that because it's a book. It's not visual. You don't know what's there. And how could I make the reader understand the potency of this? But by reading a book, and I was faced with that, and I said, why not introduce a little game? Of course, it cannot replicate the human-to-human relation, but following what I do, and you choose something and you just follow what I say, you understand how potent is it, because it does find what you're thinking, like it did for you, I think.
It's very clever thinking.
So it just puts you in the track, and then you're more interested and you understand what you have in your hands.
Sure.
That's what I think.
I absolutely love it.
Thank you.
You actually filmed this with me and Pete, so we're going to go, so the guys can have a look at the trailer and have a look at the performance.
Which I have to admit, I have to say as a parenthesis, it is a true filming. Because I have to say that sometimes people might think it's arranged. I don't know. I just speak freely. I speak my mind all the time. So I would never stage anything personally, because if it doesn't work, I would be ashamed to do it. So it did work with you. I'm happy. And that's it.
I mean, our viewers know that me and Pete wouldn't stand there and just go along with it. It genuinely happened, and it is amazing. You're going to absolutely love this. So let's take a look at the performance right now.
Hi, my name is Phedon. 2 years ago, I created what many people consider to be the purest form of mind reading. Your spectator thinks of a design, they write nothing down and tell nobody. This thought exists only in their mind, and yet you're able to read the thought with 100% accuracy. And not only do you determine the thought, but you also give them the impression that true mind reading has taken place. After perfecting this method, I have simplified it to the point that anyone can do it. And now it's time for me to share it with the magic community. Learn my technique and you will never leave home without the ability to make people scream. I'm Phedon and welcome to PROTEUS. Peter and Dave.
Hi.
I want you to imagine you're back to school. You're 10 to 12 years old and you're bored. And you just have a piece of paper and a pen, and you do a simple drawing, something like a doodle that takes 5 to 10 seconds to make, something that anybody will recognize, like a hand, the hands with the clock, or a mountain, or even a bicycle maybe, but nothing too complicated, and just in your mind. You have one?
Yeah, I've got one.
You have one?
Yeah.
All right. Because it's the first time I meet you guys, and I want to connect with you in some way. I want you to think of the drawing and of the word. Like if it was a bicycle, you would think of bicycle. And I want you to see the letters one by one in your mind, one by one, okay?
Yeah.
All right. All right. You have an A, I'm sure.
Yes.
And you don't maybe. You have an A? You don't have an A. You have a T as well, I think.
Yeah.
You have a T, and I messed up with your letters, but think of your drawing now and think in the real size, the real object.
Yeah.
Is it something? It's alive?
Yeah, it is.
It is alive. You have an R inside your word? I don't think so, right? You don't have an R. Think of your object in real size too. Okay, real size. It's something that you can. It's not alive, definitely. Can you hold it in your hands? No, huh? It's something bigger than you, right?
Yeah.
All right, so you're thinking of a nice little tree, and you're thinking of a boat.
Yes, I am. That is awesome.
Thank you.
That is crazy. That is really crazy.
So that was Proteus. I love it. I know you're going to love it. They are in stock now. So if you like the look of that, grab one from alakazam.co.uk. Anything else to add?
Yes. In the book, I thought of putting a bonus that I did. It's a routine. This is not PROTEUS one. There's a billet involved because I do a lot of billets. Right. Being a coin magician, I was never scared of manipulating stuff. So billets are very natural and easy. So I use them a lot because I think they're amazing, It's the next best thing after being PROTEUS in 100%.
Yeah.
So it's an amazing routine that there is a billet in plain view from the beginning of the routine, and everything, all the choices that are going to be made are predicted. Nice. So it's a routine that I've been doing for years. And some other performers had asked me the permission to give it to them for them to release or to put in their own book, and for this I refused because it is a good one. It served me well. I put it here. It's a gift, but I'm sure that you will use it extensively because it packs very small. It's impromptu. You can do it impromptu. You can walk somewhere and just cut a business card into two and do it.
Yeah.
And it is really astonishing. People don't believe it because it involves also a free choice. So predicting a free choice is always something that cancels everything out.
Yeah.
So many people call me and they had a view at the book, at the draft, because I asked them some points of view. I'm not English speaking, so I had the thing read by other people to tell me if I was concise and clear.
Right.
And they told me that this bonus routine was itself very good. So I think so. I hope you like it. I hope
that's great.
That's my point of view now.
Yeah.
But based on my performances, you know, I base my things, my routines on the way people react,
Sure.
and people really react. So, and this one is 1,000%.
Yeah, you showed me a video actually of real world reactions to it, and they were freaking out.
Yes, 2 or 3 times.
I can agree with that, because I felt like I was a layman again when you hit and you got it, and I didn't feel there was fishing or anything.
No.
I was like,
That's the strength of it. You don't feel any fishing at all. It's a process,
that's
a
amazing.
process that's invisible. So that's the 2 routines in the book.
And obviously the book comes in English, but
It's in English, of course, because we all perform in English. I mean, I don't, but the market is in English.
right.
So, but some friends call me and told me why not, because it's partially language based. I say really partially.
Right.
Okay. So I sat down and wrote down for some friends a version in Italian, a version in French,
Right.
a version in Greek, but I don't think the market, that was for a couple of friends, that's all. And a version, I think, in Spanish.
Wow.
So I'll be able to give that to anyone who buys a book, and I don't know yet, I haven't thought of it, but maybe an email or a Facebook group I might create, I don't know yet.
Sure.
But then if you send me a message, I'll be very happy to send you the method in your language.
That'd be great. And I know obviously if you purchase through us, then we obviously have contacts for Phedon,
Of course,
so
yes.
we can help with that. So it's no problem at all. But I love it. I know you're going to love it. Grab it now. They're in stock. And all that's left to say is a huge thank you to Phedon.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining me.
It's me. I thank you. Thank you.
We'll see you guys soon.
Thank you.